Good evening once more and welcome to your favorite program, Focus. We have been going all fashion, and today let's go a bit inspirational. I have with me present here today in the studio a beautiful guest who is an inspirational writer. And she's called Saji Ruth. You can see with me, she's very beautiful, and trust me, she's very talented. You're welcome, Madam Saji.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know you are eager, so very eager to know who Saji Ruth is. But before we dive into telling you who Saji Ruth is or what she does, we'll take you on a quick musical break, and when we come back, we'll definitely let you in.
It's only you.
Piece. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you are just tuning in to PSC, we are live on our program Focus. And before we went on that very exciting break, I was introducing our beautiful guest we have today. She has graced our program with her presence. So she's going to be telling us about her write-ups. Like I said, she's an inspirational writer. She writes books, poems. She writes quotes, beautiful ones. She even does inspirational videos, and now she has a magazine, The Voice of Wisdom. So she's going to be telling us about excuse me. She's going to be telling us about the Voice of Wisdom and her inspirations, what it's all about.
Okay, Judy, thank you very much for this opportunity. It's very wonderful to be with us here today to share inspiration. We live in a world today that everybody needs to be inspired. It's a very competitive world, and for you to stand out, you really need to be inspired. And like Judith rightly puts it, we have been doing a lot of book writing, we've been doing a lot of videos, and now by the grace of God, this January we started with a magazine, and we have started publishing the magazine called The Voice of Inspiration. So I'm just going to let Judy do her thing. It's really wonderful in here, and we know that you all are wonderful people following us together. We are really going to be inspired today, Judy.
Okay, like you've heard it from her, she does a lot of book writing, quotes, and videos. So let's go and look at some of the things she does.
He has given me victory. Oh, the God has given me victory. He has given me victory. Oh, all the days of my life I praise you. Everything that I have now you gave to me, Baba. Lord, I say for your love I'm grateful. Yes, you love me plenty. You came to die for me. Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nissi, I am that I am. Ooh, oh, I searched around, there's no one else like you. Lion of Judah, you're the man.
Okay, I hope you people all enjoy that. That is just a synopsis of what Saji Ruth does, and I'm sure all of you want to know how she got her inspiration, how she came about it. Given the time in which we are, is the 21st century. Girls who want to go to Down Beach and enjoy, they want to go to clubs and dance, but she takes her time to write and inspire us. So we want to find out from you, Madam, how you came about with the inspiration, that you did not just sit and dream, or probably how did the inspiration get to you to start writing?
You mean the inspirational quotes?
Yes.
Precisely. Okay, for the inspirational quotes, I would say that it's just something that I grew to like doing as days pass by, because you remember when we were much smaller, you see quotes from Abraham Lincoln, quotes from all of them, Oprah Winfrey, and you see all those big people, they put quotes and you're like, wow, this is fine. And even when you're on social media, you're sharing their quotes. And so while I was in the university, precisely in the second year in my university studies, there is this photography place they call Semanakwa Studios. So I was going there to take a photo shoot, and I begged him that please, I would like to have a photo editing program.
Okay.
And so he had to give me the ULEAD program. When I went to the house, I would look at the program looks at me. I cannot really manipulate the program. But each day I would go to that program. One day I realized that there was a place where instead of editing photos, you can select a project and work on. And I'm like, fine, let me try to taste a project. When I went to a project, I saw that it's all about designing quotes. And I did the first quote, I put my name on. I'm like, wow, this is wonderful. So from there, when I discovered that, I told myself, yes, I've been inspired by so many people in the world, all the Steve Jobs, the Socrates, the Abraham Lincolns. Now it's time I can design things wonderfully and send to people out there to consume. And all the things I design are not necessarily from me. We could be talking and you say something that really makes sense and inspires me. And I said, fine, okay, I'm going to design this and send it to the public.
Okay, so you've heard it, where her source of inspiration was gotten. So you made mention of some inspirational writers that have written quotes. So we want to find out the purpose for you writing this quote. Do you want to just be like them, or you have an aim?
Well, I write these quotes principally because there are some quotes, just a quote I read, I cry. There are quotes that I come across and they change my life for the better. For example, there is this Abraham Lincoln's quote. He says that the best friend to me is he that can offer me a book I have never read before. I'm like, wonderful. And Judith, you would not imagine that particular quote makes me read almost 2 or 3 books a week. Yes, quotes can really, really change our lives for the better. There are so many amazing quotes of people out there. Look at this famous quote of Socrates. Socrates says that a life... an unexamined life is not worth living. Man, knoweth thyself. And you see people repeating it all over the street. You see people putting it in their books. Quotes are very, very important. So in as much as I was inspired by these people's quotes, I'm like, fine, let me be in society. Let me be a voice from Africa as well, from Cameroon. We should not just be consuming things from overseas. Let them consume what we can produce from Africa as well.
Okay. Yes, just from her talking, I'm feeling inspired to start reading books. I'm not really the type who reads. No. But just from what she's saying, I'm really inspired to start reading lots of books. So I am sure you are Christian.
Yes, darling.
Fellowship with?
I fellowship with the children of God.
Okay. We want to find out, probably, because it might be that your religion inspires or influences your writing, or your faith, or let's say your religion orientation influences your writing, or probably you see things from the worldly point of view, or you write things from the worldly point of view, or from the biblical point of view. So how does that go?
You're right. Given the fact, I would say that without me coming to know Christ, I would little or never do anything. And the Bible makes us to understand that he that lacks wisdom should ask of God. I would want to really give all the glory to God, because whatever I do, whatever I think, whatever I say, whatever idea I put in place, it's because of the enlightenment I get from the Word of God, and the courage, the boldness, the steadfastness. Things like inspirational quotes, writing books in Cameroon. Judith, more or less, they don't really bring you much source of income per se. They don't really give you the money, but you are satisfied when you get feedback. So I was so inspired by this quote. I read this book and I could not imagine that a very young girl like you could write this. So it's not really of my making, of my own self. I can do nothing.
Okay, you're talking about people saying that a young girl like you doing this and that, and people. So is that how you get to know that you have actually reached your targeted audience?
That there are so many ways I get to know that it's touching life. For example, so many calls. Even like yesterday, somebody had to call me from Yaoundé and was like, I'm so impressed by what you're doing online. And presently, somebody from abroad is really supporting me greatly. Somebody from abroad is really supporting me. I want to say that you might be doing them thinking nobody is seeing, thinking nobody is watching. But you will get some people call you back. You will get some people comment. And then at times when you go on Instagram, on Facebook, you see that the designs you do, people take it for their profile pictures. And you're like, wonderful. So this person is really blessed up to the extent that he or she can take this to be his or her profile picture. So you are really, really encouraged to move on, because in as much as you can help save a life, then the worth was worth it.
Okay, you made mention of the fact that this does not bring much income that I can really understand. So how do you cope? Because normally, let's say for example, all your books bring you money, you do sell them.
Yes. The most important thing is that I have grown up with the message. The message is what keeps me going, not necessarily the money. For example, when I came into the university, my very first year in the university, I was doing music. I recorded 7 songs, and I was so discouraged because I would just give out the songs like that. I was not interested like maybe the money part of it, going for shows. I used to record the songs. But again, I came to find out that I was not feeling fulfilled, because I have the message, but I'm not standing out in the music.
The music is not helping you share your
it's
message.
not helping me share my message. So I stopped recording music, and I recorded for about 75,000 francs.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Per song or
No,
album?
per song, the studio told me they were going to do it for 15,000 francs. You see, so I did 7 songs with them. I think 2 of the songs were just given to me, maybe for the way I was relating with others in the studio. And I did not really go far with the music because I never loved or appreciated myself being a musician. But I knew I had a message. So when I came now to the second year in the university, this is when I discovered the inspirational quotes, the program for the inspirational quotes. So I started passing on my message, what I felt I had to say or share. Yes, through the quotes. And then that very second year of the university, I released my first book. And that book really helped me a lot, because when I released that book, I had to go now to secondary schools, mission schools, private schools, and I was soliciting for them to use the books in the school list.
Okay, can you quickly just show us a copy of the book?
Okay, so this is the very first copy of the book, the 21st Century Light. Okay. It's a poetry book, and it's meant for literature in schools. So I went and solicited so many schools around, and God so favored me, because whenever somebody went through, the person is like, wow, I really love the style, your reading, your message. And almost all the schools I went to collected the book for use. So that's when I had some money. Like, you go to a school and you see a principal give you 150,000, you're like, what? This is wonderful. That was my first time to really touch money out of what I was doing. But aside from the books now, I'm like, I have to go a little bit further, because the message is there. So it's in my 3rd year in the university that I started doing the inspirational videos.
Okay, you've heard it from her. Like I said, only from the way she's talking, I'm sure most people are getting inspired, and we know that's the purpose of our program, to inspire lives. Some people might just be sitting at home saying, what am I going to do? You have graduated and you're very, very frustrated. I'm sure if you listen to Ruth, then you have something doing. You must not work in an office. You need to earn money on your own. So Ruth, we really want to find out your writing, the poems. Were you born with the skill? Is it an inborn something, or you learned how to write poems?
Wow, that's a question. I don't know if I would say it's inborn. I love writing. Like, I would remember that when I was in the boarding school, Form 1, Form 2, there was a lot of this senior, junior thing. Seniors will beat you up, and at times you have nobody to talk to than to write. I would go crying and writing. That's how I started discovering my love for writing. When some friends hurt me, when I have nobody that really cares, when I feel like you don't belong in a set of people or something, I would just have to write. And I always believed in myself, like, even if you don't believe in me, I know that I have something worthy to offer. I don't just know how, so I would always pen down that. And then when I was in Form 5, in my school, St. Francis College, Kumba, in my school, we have a yearly magazine, and there they give you the opportunity to write. So we have poetry competition. See me, what happened is that I wrote that poem. It was titled My Alma Mater. I put it in my book. And then one of my friends, Sylvester, Jinkeng Sylvester, he's finally the president now of my batch anyways. He came to my book and then saw the poem. It was wonderful. He went and submitted the poem to the school administration. And on the day the magazine was released, lo and behold, I was the winner of the 2012 edition in the magazine. I was not the one that even gave the poem, and the whole school. And so it really encouraged me. He walked up to me, he said, how can you be writing wonderful things like this and you're keeping it? So it was really, really encouraging. And then my families came to school that day to see me best poet, and they gave me a prize for that. It really encouraged me. And then when I came to the university, you remember Madam Titanji, her organization, when we wrote the poems and submitted, she was so impressed. So I was encouraged from there, and I would write them and just keep at my homestead in my laptop. I'll just be writing the things and keeping. Not until I attended a journalism seminar where Mr. Budi Nobed was one of the speakers, and he was talking about how you need to hunger for success. You need to, whatever you feel you can do, stand up for it. I felt fire burning within me, and after I left that seminar, 4 days after, I produced the first book, The 21st Century Life.
Okay, that is so beautiful. You mentioned of your family, and we know most of our family backgrounds or values influence what we tend to become. So we want to find out, or we are eager to know if your family values somehow influenced your writing or who you have become.
Okay, I would say that, talking from the African perspective of a family, first, I'm from a very, very average, humble family. And I would want to say that, for example, like the books you see, I would not tell you that even my mother or my father has supported me with even 10,000 francs to do anything. You see, yes, nobody. And they just know that this girl likes writing. And I'm the type that when I love something, when I know something, when I believe something, I go in for it. I don't take permission from anybody. I don't need you to approve me or disapprove me. I do it. And when I'll just come, Daddy, I produced a book, them I'll just be like, this is crazy. That's Ruth. That's Ruth for them. I can do anything at any time. And so I think they have really been supportive, because they will not stop me that don't write, don't do this, don't do that. No, they don't do that to me. They just watch me do what I can do best. So, and my family background, to knowing that I come from a very low, humble family. Maybe you will call it the bottom, the last, the less privileged.
No, it's not the less privileged, it's the humble. I will take that.
Okay, the humble. Yes, I come to the understanding that no matter where I come from, it's not where I come from, it's where I'm going to. Okay. It's not what I was born into, it's what I am born to possess. And so I don't let where I come from limit me in any way. I'm so privileged to be in the family where I come from. I believe that if I came from a more comfortable family, I would sit in a comfort zone.
And be lazy.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if we stay here, we can talk to evening, but let's be time conscious. We'll quickly take you on another musical break, and when we are back, we'll continue with the program.
Daddy, only you are capable, Jehovah. Only you can do. Jehovah. No man can do. Jehovah. Only you. Only you. It's only you. It's only you. Just like
break. Before we went on the break, she was simply telling us all the ups and downs, the good and the bad of her inspirational write-ups. Okay, if you are just tuning into PSTV though, we are live on our program, Focus. So we want to find out from our guest today in the studio if she has written any other books, because I can see a lot of books on the table. I'm sure they are still part of her books. So we want to find out what the books are talking about. Is it still the poems or inspirational quotes, or is it religion?
Okay, for this one, we already said the 21st Century Light is a poetry book. That one is used by secondary schools. Then we equally had The Reign of Madness. The Reign of Madness was published in 2017. This is a drama book for secondary schools as well.
Okay.
And then this, A Mirror for Inner Discovery, it was published equally in 2016. But this is a different publishing house work. And this is a spiritual piece. So we sell it in church, at conventions.
Okay.
I sell to my folks around. This is a
Okay.
spiritual piece. And then this, The Voice of Inspirational magazine. It's a magazine that was born just this January. This is the very first edition of it.
Okay.
It's like the baby of the vision. Yes, and this, The Voice of Inspirational magazine, is simply to corroborate what we are doing with the online videos, because the online videos page is called The Voice of Inspiration on
Okay.
Facebook. Yeah, so it's a second step of the vision, and we look forward to attaining the subsequent steps, because it's really a great vision to inspire.
Okay. Without further ado, we want to find out, because normally writing, especially in our African society, like we mentioned, it's really difficult. Because you can write, people don't have the reading culture. We know that one.
Exactly.
Africans, we don't have the reading culture. I'm sure that you just think of it and why am I even writing? And people will never read it. So is that not a challenge being posed to you?
It's really a great challenge. You've really been keen to understand that we have little or no reading culture. And so that's why when you want to do a writing, you have to stand out. For example, this magazine, we did 1,000 copies of it, and about 600 is already gone just for the month of January. So you have to do it maybe more or less very captivating, and then it should
And
be
not
less
bulky.
voluminous.
Yes.
Yes, because people do not have the reading culture. And that's why at times I like the quotes more, because with the quotes, people are just like, fine, they'll just go
Okay.
through it. But for books, my God, we have a really low reading culture. But we are hoping that things will get better.
Okay. Away from that, I'm sure you do something else apart from your writing,
Yes.
all the quotes, and I'm sure you do something else.
Since I know there is low reading culture, I say, okay, fine, I'll tell the people through videos.
No, okay.
So I'm attacking the people all over.
Okay, I'm talking that if you are not reading books, that don't watch your quotes,
you
then
should watch videos.
Normally the video is good because I really want to watch TV than to get the book. And trust me, I'll never read this book unless you force me to. But if I see something of you on TV, I'll definitely watch, because it's television. Let's not
Okay.
take much of our time. We'll quickly show you a short something of our videos.
Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to another edition of our Inspirational Talks on the Voice of Inspiration. And today we are going to be tackling a very, very important topic, and that is speaking well about others. As we all know, we live in a very competitive society today, and because of the tight nature of society, everybody wants to stand out, everybody wants his or her voice to be heard. People are working all for their self-interest, and because of this, more often than not, they tend to speak very badly about others. They tend to want to put down the image of others, speak badly about others, castigate others, condemn others in their absence. So we are going to be tackling this issue today, and we put our topic, speaking well about others. There are so many reasons in this world why so many people want to speak badly about others, and amongst
Okay, I'm sure you people have an understanding or a little view of what her videos are talking about, and I'm sure she's going to give us where we can get these very beautiful quotes, videos, and even the book. So now we are gradually getting to the end of the program, and if you are still just tuning into PSTV, we are live on our program Focus. So also want to find out one last thing from you, Madam Ruth, our beautiful guest. Apart from the monetary gains, probably you get something small, even though you say you didn't have much. I'm sure you get something small from what you are doing, because normally you cannot just be doing it, putting in money, they are not getting something to probably support yourself. So I want to find out what other achievement, apart from the monetary gains you have, Because I'm sure probably you just write if you fulfilled or something. What other gain do you have from writing all these things?
I like the word fulfillment. First, I feel so very fulfilled to write. Secondly, it's a privilege to work with a great team. I have Bayuga Betran in the United Kingdom. I have Mesumbe Neville. I have Ashiu Yaya. So many people that support me and my friends as well. And then talking about what I equally achieve, it's exposure. They say expose what you carry in order to impose yourself where you're needed.
Force yourself to belong.
Yes, the point is, I love inspiration. I love being inspired by others, and I want to inspire other people. That's why I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of writing, and I'm trying to expose myself at this basic level. I don't care about the finances because it's just like, okay, let the voice of inspiration spread wide. People should get to know more about this girl, what she's doing, what her team is doing. So much so that my plans for the future, I'm gaining a name.
Okay, now it's time to work.
Exposure, yes, awareness. So I don't really care too much about the money. Now my aim is not principally the money. Doing everything you need money to sustain you anyway. Yes, but now it's exposure. We want to gain a lot of awareness, get people to like what we are doing, to support, to be a part of us. Together we can inspire our world for a better future.
So you're talking about exposure, being like imposing yourself. We want to find out, we are eager to find out if you have been represented or your books or something has been represented, probably in a national event or even internationally.
Okay, to really sure that the exposure is really working, there are times I have been called for events like the American Night of Arts. I was presenting the slam poetry, like the video kind of, the slam poetry, the spoken words. So they often invite me for events, and equally I go in for the writing competition. Just like me being on PSTV, it's already part of the exposure. It's because PSTV has gotten to know about me, and that's why I'm here.
Okay, so like I said, we are gradually getting out of time. So we want you to quickly give us probably a social media page or contact where we can quickly get your books, your write-ups and the quotes and the videos.
Okay, perfect. So for the videos, when you go on Facebook, you can follow the Voice of Inspiration. On that page, you will get a whole lot of videos. And equally for the inspirational quotes, when you go on Facebook, you can follow Saji Ruth M Inspirations. Saji Ruth M Inspirational Quotes. From there, you get a whole lot of the inspirational quotes. And then for the books, we have a website, www.vuama.com. That Vuama means Voice of Inspiration with Ruth Macochi. So www.vuama.com. Our Twitter, you can just follow Saji Ruth on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and we would keep in touch with inspirations.
Okay, thank you so much, Saji Ruth. With that, we draw the curtains for today's program. We know there must be some people behind the decks to make this program a success. We have Etienne, our humble technician, and Mr. Dave, and our beautiful guest who has graced our presence today, Saji Ruth. And we are sure from what she has said, we are all inspired. So you keep a rendezvous with me same time next week, and stay tuned to PSCB for there are more for you. Thank you and have a blessed evening. Thank you, Ruth, for coming.
You're welcome, Judith.
Okay.
Do you
Purify my heart. Let me be